The farewell game ahead of a World Cup campaign has long been a treasured part of the build-up, and that comes tonight in Melbourne at Amy Park. And the Australian coach, Tony Popovic, is with me. Tony, it's great to have you on the program. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be on.
So you've had an experience like this as a player, as you're sent forth by the nation. Are we looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, we are. We are, definitely. I've experienced it, fortunately, as a player, and now I'm doing it as a coach. And so I know, the players love these matches just before you go to the World Cup, and tonight's our last one. So we hope to put on a really good performance. Have some good support there, supporting the boys, and hopefully get the win.
What do you want them to feel? As this stadium will probably have fans in it watching you on big screens when your games come around. What do you want them to feel tonight as they carry forward that idea of representing Australia?
Yeah, just that really, Gerard, the special feeling that you get representing your country. And, we're not at the World Cup, so we're not experiencing that yet, but we can feel a difference amongst the group because there is so much more commercial work to do. They're trying on their suits. They're doing all these different things that you don't do unless there's a World Cup coming. So they've been very busy, so they can feel it. They know that this is the last window before the World Cup. They had a very good, solid performance in the first game. I know they want to put on a great show, get a win. Obviously, everyone's fighting for positions to get, in that roster for the World Cup, and tonight's an opportunity for them to show their best form.
So Friday night was in Sydney, Cameroon. You win 1-0. What did you get out of it? What did you like from that game?
Yeah, a lot of things. I think we've tried to work on a few parts of our game in training, and we saw it sporadically in the first half up until probably the final third, and that got better in the second half. And we looked aggressive, we looked compact, we didn't give any chances away, so the focus and concentration and discipline was very good. And in the second half we added some quality, in terms of the way we played and moved the ball in the final third. And in the end, it was a good win, a solid win, and one that we deserved.
So tonight's against Curaçao, which is a little bit of a learning curve, I think, for all of us. What do you know about them?
Yeah, obviously a very small nation, first time in the World Cup. Just a credit to them. It's a wonderful achievement for them. And, we're playing a World Cup opponent, so that already adds a little bit more to the match. There's you get the sense of, we're both going there, and, both nations want to put on a good performance and get the win over a potential rival at the World Cup. So we're looking forward to them. We obviously welcome them and respect them. But, we just really would like to see some more continuity from the other night. There are a lot of new faces playing together for the first time, a few debutants as well, and hopefully they'll gel even better tonight.
So, Tony, in the final stages of preparing, and you'll have to name a squad soon enough, how many questions are still open? What finding things down and the hunger to be a part of it? What's that dynamic like at the moment?
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Obviously, as a coach observing it, you can see, we as a staff can see how determined and how much desire that every single player has, and we understand that. Everyone wants to be there, and no one wants to miss out. And we're just looking for players to put their hand up as another option for us, and we feel that from the first game we've seen that a couple of players have shown that they can definitely handle this level of football, the pressure that comes with it, the expectation, playing for your country. So we're trying to add as many players as possible that we can call upon when the squad needs to be announced. As Gerard, in sport, there are always injuries and things change very quickly. And if we can have a squad of players that we can call upon and we know and trust, and they are confident enough to produce, that can only help us come the World Cup. So we're looking tonight that a few more players can put their hand up and basically say, pick me.
Yes.
With a strong performance. I anticipate that we'll see that again tonight. And we had some good surprises on Friday, and hopefully a couple more tonight.
So you've had 18 months, and then the early certainty of knowing you're going to a World Cup. How settled in your mind is the first team of the tournament? Have you got a clear picture? Are you malleable? What's your attitude as coach?
No, the picture's clear in what we want to see for the first game. But I'm certainly open to the surprises, as I mentioned, about players coming in and taking someone else's spot by producing in these last few months in the season, and also from Friday and tonight's match. That doesn't take away the clarity of what we know. We certainly are clear on what we want to see in the first match, and the profile of players that we believe we will need in each position to get the balance right for the first game. So that's very clear, and we're confident that we'll be ready for that. But I think this camp just provides some players that have played really well the last 3 months at their clubs. They're in good form. It gives them a chance to maybe be a part of that first game and that first squad playing obviously the European qualifier, which will learn who our opponent is very soon.
Yes, it's sort of late in the day not to have that locked away, isn't it?
It is. It's a little bit surprising where you're sitting and waiting to find out who you're playing. But look, it's down to 2 now, so it was 4 a few days ago.
Yep.
So we're down to 2, and very shortly it'll be very clear for all of us.
Tony, yours is a great story. You're going to be the first Australian to have played in a World Cup and then coach a World Cup. I know we're a few months out still, but does the magnitude of that, how does that sit with you as to what you're about to accomplish?
I think it sits with great honour and the responsibility that I know that I carry with that role. It's been told. I've been told this a few times, and I think it's maybe like any professional athlete or a coach. I think they are things that you reflect on maybe after.
Yep.
When you're not doing it any longer, and you start to think back, what a wonderful achievement that was. So maybe that's for another day, but. The focus for me is that we do our country proud, that we compete with every match of the first 3, and that we show how good Australian football is and how good our footballers are, and with wonderful support that we can do something special and get to those knockout rounds where we know in a one-off game anything's possible, and we want to be part of that conversation.
Did I see that you've got Mile Jedinak in your camp as an assistant coach?
Yes.
How wonderful!
Yeah, it is. It's I'm very fortunate with great people and great staff here, all ex-Socceroos in the coaching staff, and Mile obviously adds that more recently than the rest of us in the staff from playing not long ago, and obviously captaining his country at the World Cup. He's had a few years' experience now with Ange Postecoglou, obviously a wonderful manager and mentor for him. So he's on his coaching journey, and we're delighted to have him with us.
So he brings the experience of being a captain. And then I was thinking about your captain at the moment, Matt Ryan, and in a young squad, is just his importance, what he's experienced in the past and what he can bring. It's how central a figure is your captain in this squad?
Yeah, he will be, definitely. He's not your captain that will, just be barking instructions, but he definitely leads by example, real calming influence on the group, and I think he can sense with the young players who needs an arm around them, who needs to be left alone, and he's an inspiration for these young boys. If you see the way he trains and the way he prepares every day, there's no surprise he's had such a long career. Successful career, and now applying his trade in La Liga in Spain, playing really well. So all our players can just learn off him, and in his own way that he captains and prepares each day. I think he'll lead the boys really well at the World Cup. Tony,
so tonight and then tomorrow's April, and all roads lead to June. What when do you get them? What happens between now and our first game?
For now, obviously the focus is on this match, and then it's a little bit of time to celebrate Easter with the families, and then before you know it, in May, we're going over to the States, and we start a training camp there with the players that finish their seasons quite early. So we have a range of finishing dates from early May to the end of May. So at various points, we'll be able to bring players in from mid-May and start training them and preparing them. And so it'll all happen quite quickly. I'm very fortunate we have a great training base organised, great pre-camp organised in terms of the facilities as well. So the FA has been very supportive in that. And, we're really looking forward to the next phase before it starts.
June 13, Turkey or Kosovo, still to be determined. Just from when you took the job, so what's that, October 2024 to now,
yes.
In the blueprint that you had, Tony, so how close has it been to what you thought you would roll out and have a team tournament ready to the reality that's unfolded?
That's a great question. I think, when I first came in, there was just a real focus on, we need to qualify, we need to, our campaign didn't start well the first two games in the September window, and we needed to get some results. And so it was a bit of a whirlwind. You're there for 3-4 days and meeting the players for the first time and staff together. We're obviously delighted that we got results. We qualified automatically, and then it shifted then more to, okay, well, how can we get better? Not just playing wise, what can we do better as a staff? How can we now use these friendly games, these windows of opportunity for us in terms of our game style, and what can we practice and get better at? And also, how do we try and grow the squad? How do we get more depth in the squad? And injuries offer opportunities as well. And, it's been a shame. We've had some longer term injuries, which will affect some players for being able to participate in the World Cup. But it's, as it always does in sport, it opens doors. And so we've seen some emerging young talents come through who now have an opportunity to go to the World Cup. So I think the process, it's hard to look too far ahead, but now thinking back, I think we're comfortable with the process. Obviously qualifying, which was the key. And now we've had this time to plan and process getting the squad stronger. And, we're comfortable with where we're at. Obviously there's some more work to do, but we have a good plan in place for May to get the players in great shape for, obviously, Turkey or Kosovo.
Well, Tony, we know how much it means to see that Australian shirt in World Cups, and that's now not too far away. So good luck tonight. Enjoy it, and the crowd there will send you on your way, and that's a big part of the journey. I really appreciate your time today. Good luck for tonight.
No, thank you very much, and thanks for the support.